All right, drawing and talking. I guess that's what I'm still calling this. So yeah, so this is a drawing. I said obviously it's drawing. I got drawing of Atlas going here. Atlas, the Titan in Greek mythology, holds up the world. It's changed some. I have a lot of, so this is just from obviously this is a sketchbook I worked out. And yeah, so here I was. So yeah, so the original idea was much tighter, I guess, much more contained. Yeah, basically like that, rather more restricted. And here, yeah, it was going to be that. It was going to be that tight focus on, yeah, really on his face, really on him and his head. But as I was working on it, I, I don't know, I started working on bringing it out, bringing the arms out, and it's just going to be a test run. I guess this is officially just going to be a test run. Did the hands, um, or started working through ideas with hands. I'm not going to bother really apologizing for like having to reach, having to go underneath the camera or like whatever, because it's just yeah, it's just the nature of the beast. That's the way it's going to have to be until I have like a, sheesh, I don't know, until I have a whole professional studio or something and some cameraman. Really was what I need. So yeah, so I was just going to work out. Still not sure how I feel about showing the hands, but I was going to go ahead and work out the idea. Um, yeah, I thought that was worth trying out. And I may do, I don't know, I may do 3 or 4 of these depending. Well, that's probably excessive. I may do some more of these of Atlas, trying some variations, or I may just sketch them out and see if I can tell from that what's working and what's not. So yeah, one kind of weird thing about this, I with Atlas with the hands, it's not a, yeah. I mean, I guess he would. I understand he would probably have his hands turned like this. And I probably will try that in another drawing. I think it would work better in sculpture. Here, right, turned like this, holding up the world as if he's grasping this massive sphere above him. This might actually work. I suspect the hands turn like this. I mean, I think those work very well for sculpture, for one thing, because you can see underneath, and it's very evocative. Now this, like, I think, again, I want to try it. I think maybe I want to try the hands like that, but I don't think it's going to be as effective. I don't think it's going to be as interesting because you're just not going to see as much of the hands, obviously. It's not going to be as dramatic. So kind of I've really opted here for drama over realism, almost to, I don't know, maybe almost even to a kitschy or a somewhat silly degree. I'm not really sure I'm bothered by that. Uh, these were meant to be, well, larger than life, meant to be dramatic, meant to be rather, yeah, I guess, well, definitely somewhat romantic. I also, Atlas, see, so I have this, it's embarrassing to admit, but I have this other project I'm going on, working on a novel. And really, the novel is the stories. It's Hercules. It's kind of a biography. It's a biography of Hercules. It's many of the Hercules stories. Done somewhat. Well, I shouldn't say somewhat done. I think in a lot of ways quite differently than other versions. Although I got to say, there's a lot of Hercules stories, and there are a lot of versions, and yeah, he's a very popular fictional character, and not surprisingly, he can be whatever. In the different stories, right? He's different things. He's different. Oftentimes he's a very different character. There's different, and my point really here being is that from what I've seen of the Hercules stories, and I haven't read that. They repeat, so you don't have to read a lot of them. Well, I'll say something about that more in a minute. but they yeah, he can be whatever the story requires. So he's not really, he's not in any way, and you would expect this. He's not like a consistent character. And then you get into art, and the visual art and the depictions are all just, yeah, fascinatingly changed, which is one of the great things about art, one of the great things about visual depictions, and also literary depictions, right? All the different versions. It's quite interesting, um, quite engaging. One weird thing about the hands I will mention is when I was trying to work these out, and I'm still not entirely happy with how I've done this. So maybe I'll try some various different things. But it was actually easier to draw them first from memory, or just kind of like lay them out in a sort of dramatic way. And once I actually started looking at my hand, my arm in these positions, it got weird. Didn't seem to make as much sense. I can't tell if I'm really torn here about the hands. I'm really torn here about whether or not I can live with them, whether or not I think they look too awkward. You can actually, yeah, I don't know, maybe. We'll see. And obviously you can let me know what you think in the comments. The hands are really, I'm kind of trading drama. Yeah, I'm definitely trading drama for, I guess, sort of realism. I don't, it's an odd way to be holding up the world. I acknowledge that. It doesn't, yeah, I guess if you were to think, how would I hold up the world? What would I be doing? How would my arms be? You probably wouldn't think of this first. Although maybe this is kind of in keeping. As I said, I'm working on a novel, a Hercules novel about Hercules, which is, yeah, and it's so I decided to include Atlas in it. I kind of worked out, I've kind of begun working out the encounter with Atlas. He has to go to Atlas when he's carrying out the 12 labors. And so, not to, I don't know, this is kind of spoilers. The idea I had would be that Atlas is, in a lot of ways, he's more of an idea, almost, even within the novel. He's almost more of a concept. So is there literally a giant holding up the sky? Is there literally a giant preventing the sky from falling? Yes and no. There literally will be an actual encounter with Atlas, but Atlas is going to be, more conceptual. Atlas is not so much a part of this world, or a part of the everyday, the world the Hercules character inhabits. He's more of a concept. You might think of the Platonic forms. He's more real, but he is not. But he's real in that he's more real in that he's more conceptual. So yes, there's an encounter with an actual entity, but the entity is not. The entity is very, very far removed from humanity, and somewhat removed even from godhood, which I think is kind of appropriate for a lot of reasons. One reason is it just helps with the story. It just helps with I don't have to kind of deal with the silliness of, would you shout it out? You start to wonder how you would even sort of talk to him, but it kind of helps deal with the. I think it'll make it less silly and more bearable. You just might imagine. Suppose you have to do someone meeting. Suppose you have to write a play or something like that, where you have someone meeting Atlas in person, and you have to depict this on the stage, and think about how that would be pretty tough. So I think you would probably shroud Atlas in mist on the stage or something like that. You're going to need a way to suggest him and suggest this uh, pure, absolutely unimaginable strength and endurance to hold up the sky. But it's going to have to be mysterious. You're going to have to, obviously, I think you're going to have to hint at it, not so much go at it directly. So I hope that's clear. There's also the fact that he's a Titan. So I think that helps justify removing him in the novel from like what you might call the ordinary gods, or the usual gods in the Greek pantheon that you're used to encountering. And this also, I guess I should add, this is part of a series, or it's going to be, this is part of a series I've worked out. And it's going to be the Greek pantheon, or at least major parts of it. Major parts. Several gods, several figures from the pantheon. Hephaestus, Hermes, definitely Aphrodite. Aphrodite's always been Aphrodite's in many ways a personal favorite. Really artistic depictions of her, I think, are a fan. I adore a lot of the artistic depictions of Athena. Fantastic character, visually fantastic character. So, I mean, there's a large pantheon. Ares, Venus, Persephone, Diana, but I'm forgetting the Greek name for the huntress. I'm forgetting the Greek name for. It'll come to me. It'll come to me later. Maybe Saturn, maybe another Titan, Zeus, maybe. A little less clear on that. Hades. Anyway, I'll do a lot of sketches. I'll do a lot of preparatory drawings and see what works. Some may just not. Obviously, some may just not work out. And here, so I'm really torn about the hands, but for the moment, I'm going to leave them be, or I'm going to think about depicting them in such a way that they're suggestive of this grip he has on the world. But again, sacrificing drama for, not sacrificing drama, sacrificing realism for drama. I don't know. I'm really torn. I can't tell. I don't think I'm happy with the hands, but I think I'm gonna have to work on them. I think I'm gonna try a lot of experimenting with them. So I'll just, you can tell how the rest. This is kind of the plan for the rest of the drawing. So I don't feel the really need to. So maybe I'll try. Well, I'm going to wrap this up. I don't want this to go over 15 minutes. So for the moment, I will wrap this up. Spend some more time on the hands, spend some more time on the drawing, and probably come back and I'll get some more of the, preliminary idea about Hermes. It'll probably change. I find these things tend to change pretty substantially when I take them to the big paper, when I take them to the actual drawing as opposed to the preparatory sketches. Anyway, I hope that gives you a good idea of where I'm going with this. I'm going to go look at, I'm going to do a lot of references for the hands and think about the hands a lot and try some different experiments. And I'll get back with that. All right, so thanks for checking this out. Thanks a lot. Take care. Have a great day. Peace out.